What if I told you the man who built the happiest place on earth was once told he wasn't creative enough? What if I told you the man who gave the world Mickey Mouse once had to sleep on a park bench because he couldn't afford a home? This isn't just a story about cartoons. It's a story about what happens when you refuse to let the world tell you who you are. Before there was Disneyland, before there were parades, fireworks, and families lining up with joy in their eyes, there was a young man named Walt. Walt Disney grew up with very little. He loved to draw, but when he started chasing his dream, the world didn't clap. In fact, the world laughed. His first company went bankrupt. His cartoons were rejected. He was told his ideas were childish, unrealistic, a waste of time. At one point, Walt was so broke he couldn't afford food. He had every reason to give up, to accept the truth that maybe he wasn't cut out for success. But here's the thing, Walt didn't stop. He refused to let failure write the final chapter of his story. In that storm of rejection, Walt kept drawing. And one day, out of his pencil came a simple mouse, 2 round ears, a big smile, a little bit of mischief in his eyes. Mickey Mouse was born not in a studio filled with money, but in the imagination of a man who had nothing left except his dream. People loved it. And from that spark, a fire was lit. Walt began to build. One cartoon led to another. One idea gave birth to the next. And then came a vision so outrageous, so impossible, people thought he had lost his mind. A theme park where families could step into a world of magic. A place where dreams lived, where reality bent into wonder. Banks refused to fund it. Investors laughed. No one will ever pay money to walk into a giant playground, they said. But Walt didn't need their belief. He had his own. And in 1955, Disneyland opened its doors. We all know what happened next. Today, Disney is one of the most beloved names in the world. Disneyland and Disney World bring joy to millions every year. Characters born from his imagination have become timeless. But the real story isn't about Disneyland. The real story is about a man who turned rejection into fuel, who turned failure into stepping stones. Walt once said, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." And isn't that the truth? Dreams aren't about magic, they're about courage. From a psychological perspective, Walt's story reflects what psychologists call grit. Research from Angela Duckworth at the University of Pennsylvania shows that grit, passion, and perseverance for long-term goals is often a better predictor of success than raw talent or intelligence. Walt Disney didn't succeed because he was the smartest man in the room. He succeeded because he had grit. Because when the world told him no, He found his own yes. He tapped into what modern neuroscience calls the growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication and effort. He didn't see failure as the end. He saw it as feedback, as fuel, as proof that he was moving. And that's something every one of us can learn from. Think about it this way. Life is a bit like drawing a cartoon. At first, the lines are rough, the sketches messy. People might not see what you're trying to create. Some will laugh, some will criticize. But if you keep drawing you keep believing, eventually those messy lines connect into something magical. Walt Disney's life is a parable for all of us. Your failures are not full stops. They're commas in a bigger sentence. Your rejections are not proof you're not good enough. They're tests to see how badly you want it. Your dreams might sound crazy to others, but if they make sense to you, they're worth chasing. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. Walt Disney, and maybe that's the whole point. Life isn't about playing safe. It's about daring to sketch the impossible and then having the courage to bring it to life. So here's my question for you. What's your Mickey Mouse? What's that one dream, that one idea everyone else says is too silly, too unrealistic, too impossible? Because maybe, just maybe, that's the very dream that will change your life. If Walt's story inspired you, hit like to let others discover it. Share it with someone who needs a reminder to keep going. And don't forget to subscribe, because sometimes the story you hear today is the spark that changes your tomorrow.